You ever try to run a business where the nearest cell tower is a rumor? I did. Last winter, I set up my phone on a tripod in the barn to go live about lambing season. I had 3 people watching. Then the stream froze on my face mid-sneeze and kicked everyone out. My hotspot had 4 bars of hope and 0 bars of reality. My goats had better signal than me. That is when I finally quit messing around and tested Starlink for real. If you live on acreage in the United States and you think Starlink is just a toy for tech bros in the city, you are leaving money on the table. I thought that too. I figured a satellite dish could not keep my little Homestead brand alive. I was wrong, but I was also wrong about how to use it. I treated it like a magic pizza that delivers internet. It is not. It is a tool. And like a chainsaw or a pressure canner, it will either make your life better or take a chunk out of you if you use it dumb. I used it dumb first. Let me help you skip that part. Here is the first thing most people get wrong. Obstructions are sneaky. You walk outside, look up, see sky, and think you are good. That is not how this works. Starlink needs a big, wide sky, mostly to the north, about 100 degrees across. That pretty oak tree at the edge of your property is a silent killer. The satellite comes in low, that tree eats the signal, and your Zoom call drops right when you are closing a sale on your handmade soap. I mounted my dish on the barn roof like I was king of the county. Felt smart. Still had dropouts every afternoon. The problem was the barn itself. The roof line was blocking low satellites from the north. I moved the dish to a metal pole 10 feet west of the barn, 6 feet off the ground, and my uptime went from sketchy to rock solid. The app makes it look like you need a perfect bubble of sky. You do not. You need that north window clear. Most folks blame Starlink before they blame their own gutter. Check your angles before you write the angry review. Second secret, residential service is not business service unless you make it business service. If you try to live stream your butchering demo at 7 p.m. on a Sunday, you are going to compete with every gamer and Netflix binge in the United States. The network gets crowded. Your upload speed tanks. Your viewers get to watch a frozen frame of you holding a very unhappy chicken. I learned to work around peak hours. I film during the day and I upload at 2 or 3 in the morning. I sleep. The dish works. Nobody is fighting me for bandwidth at that hour. YouTube does not care what time you upload. Your blood pressure does. If live video is your bread and butter, either buy priority data or schedule your streams when the rest of the country is asleep or at work. If you ignore congestion, you will think the service is bad. It is not bad. It is busy. Same as the feed store on Saturday morning. Third thing that bites people, power draw. That dish is hungry. It pulls 40 to 75 watts all day long. When the heater kicks on to melt snow, it can jump over 100 watts. If you are off-grid on solar, like half of us rural folks, that is a real load. I woke up last December and my battery bank was at 45% by lunch. I was ready to panic. Then I opened the app. The heater was on auto and it was 36 degrees and sunny. I switched the heater to off and grabbed a broom. 5 minutes of brushing snow off the dish saves me 100 watts per hour. That is hours of runtime for my freeze dryer. People install Starlink and then wonder why their solar setup suddenly feels small. It is not the internet. It is the secret heater you did not know you agreed to. Turn it off unless you are in a real blizzard. Your batteries will thank you. Fourth mistake, trusting the stock Starlink router to cover your homestead. That router is fine for a 1,400 square foot house in the suburbs. You do not live there. You have a house and a barn and a greenhouse and a workshop and maybe a little farm stand by the road. My stock signal died before it even hit the barn door. I was running back to the house to answer customer emails like it was 1999. The fix is simple. Put the Starlink router in bypass mode and run your own mesh system. I run a cheap mesh with 1 unit in the house, 1 in the barn, and 1 in the greenhouse. Now I can update my Etsy listings while I am checking the tomatoes. I can take a video call from the goat pen. Your business is spread out. Your Wi-Fi needs to be 2. Stop Stop trying to make the stock router do a job it was not built for. That is like using a butter knife to dig post holes. Fifth thing people miss, Starlink is not a set it and forget it appliance. The constellation changes. They launch new satellites all the time. The coverage over the United States gets better every few months. That means your service today is not the same as last year. I recheck obstructions with the app every season. Leaves grow, snow piles up. My neighbor put up a new grain bin, and suddenly I had a dead spot from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I loosened 2 bolts, rotated the pole a hair west, and the problem disappeared. If you treat Starlink like a cable modem, you will think it is flaky. If you treat it like a piece of farm equipment that needs seasonal tuning, it is a workhorse. Grease the tractor, check the dish, same mindset, same results. Sixth tip, and this one costs people money, upload management. A lot of Homestead creators try to push 4K video files during the day while the kids are streaming and the security cameras are pinging the cloud. The dish will do it, but your experience will be mid. I batch my work, record all week. Friday night, I line up the uploads. I go to bed. The dish uploads while the rest of the country sleeps. I wake up to published videos. If you try to upload a 20 gigabyte file at 6 p.m., you are going to be mad. Plan your pipeline. Your mule can haul a lot, but you have to load it smart. Do not stack 10 bales at once and then kick the mule when it sits down. Seventh thing, grounding and lightning. You live in the United States. We have weather. A metal pole with a powered dish on top is a lightning rod if you do it wrong. Ground the pole. Use a good surge protector. I use an Ethernet surge protector between the dish and the router. I have seen one neighbor lose a whole setup to a summer storm because they skipped that $10 part. Do not be that neighbor. Protect your investment like you protect your well pump. Now for the analogy that keeps me sane. Starlink is a mule. Not a Ford F-350, not a Tesla. A mule will take you places a truck cannot go. It will work in mud and snow and tight trails. It will haul your gear up the mountain, but you cannot load 3 tons on its back and then cuss when it stops walking. You have to feed it, water it, and understand its limits. I tried to run 3 Zoom calls, upload 4K, and let my kids play online games all at once on day 1. The mule sat down. Now I feed it right. I keep my streams at 1080p unless a sponsor is paying for 4K. I stagger uploads. I tell the kids to go outside and touch grass. The mule works great now. My business actually runs. I sell sourdough, starter, and herbal salves. I run a Patreon. I post weekly videos from a hollow where the county stopped running cable in 1993. That is freedom. But it is earned freedom, not gifted freedom. Here is my personal stake. I almost quit. Last year I had 11,000 subscribers and I was missing uploads because my old fixed wireless would die every time the wind blew or the corn got tall. Sponsors were emailing me asking if I was okay. I was not okay. I was looking at houses in town. I was ready to sell the goats. Starlink kept me on my land. It is not perfect. During a monster thunderstorm, I still dropped for a minute or two, but I went from 4 days to upload a single video to 1 overnight upload. That is the difference between a hobby that costs me money and a business that pays the mortgage. If you are trying to build a micro homestead brand in the United States in 2026, internet is your road to market. The county is not paving that road. You have to. Real talk for the Homestead crowd. Starlink works if you work it. Mount it high, clear the north sky. Manage your power, bypass the stock router, schedule your big uploads, ground your gear, recheck your setup every season. Do that and you can run a real online business from a ridge in Kentucky or a patch of desert in Arizona or a woodlot in Maine. Skip that and you will be the next person posting a rant about how Starlink sucks. I have watched 100 of those videos. Half of them pan the camera and there is a giant tree right in the shot. So here is the question that starts fights at every feed store from Texas to Montana. For a micro homestead business in the United States, is reliable internet now more important than water rights? I know that sounds crazy. You cannot drink bandwidth, but you also cannot pay property tax with eggs alone anymore. If you cannot market, sell courses, do consulting calls, ship products, or build a community online because your upload is garbage, can you actually keep your land in 2026? Or are we all just one dry well or one bad internet bill away from packing up and heading back to town? Tell me I am wrong.